What is services backlog and why do we care for our SaaS business? Well, welcome to another edition of SaaS Metrics School. So yesterday I covered my top 4 professional services metrics. So if you have a services org in your business or scaling it up, you must track these metrics for your services org. And again, those were services backlog, backlog in months, billable utilization, and then services margins. So today's episode, we're focusing on services backlog. So what the heck is services backlog? So let's run through an example. So say we sign a contract with our customer to sell 100,000 of ARR. So we're going to invoice them $100,000 subscription. And we also have to set up, configure, onboard, train that customer on our product. And we price that out at 50,000 of services dollars. So 100,000 of ARR, 50,000 of services dollars. So we sign that contract. And immediately once that contract is signed, it creates 50K of services backlog. Now it's on our services team to pull that services backlog into revenue. And commonly we refer to that as a burn rate. So burning that backlog, pulling it into revenue. So that 50K is sitting in services backlog, gets assigned to a project manager, and now we can execute against that project. So there are a lot of nuances with this. If this is a 50K estimate, so T&M, or 50K fixed fee, but let's say it was a fixed scope 50K. And of course, rev rec varies. We could do that on a percent complete. We could do it based on milestones, but let's just say we're doing it percent complete. So we have 50K sitting there. We work on that project for a month and we can invoice 10,000, pull that into revenue in that current accounting period. So we invoice 10,000, we recognize 10,000 on our SaaS P&L. Now we've got 40,000 of services backlog sitting there. And we're going to track that for every single project where we have a live implementation with a customer. And that's going to create our total services backlog number. So we're going to measure that monthly. So when we close the books, let's just say it's mid-November right now, when we closed October books, we're going to have a backlog number for October because we know how much new services backlog we signed in October. We know how much we invoiced, rev rec, to calculate that services backlog number. And then we're going to but calculate it every single month because we need to know directionally, where is that trending? Do we have $1 million, 5 million? Is it going from 5 to 6 million? We have to know directionally where that is going. It's an important number because generally we want that services backlog number to go up because we're signing new customer contracts, which is great, or services for existing customers. And we want that number coming up. But services backlog as a standalone number is kind of like CAC. It's really not a standalone metric. Once you get used to seeing that number a lot, you can figure out a lot of, you can put some context around that CAC number, but really we're going to take CAC and put it in the CAC payback, cost of ARR, LTV to CAC, and it provides more context around that CAC number. So services backlog is no different. And in tomorrow's episode, we're going to talk services backlog in months, and that puts it in context, almost like CAC payback, but a little different, but it gives us more context. And then we can easily justify hiring decisions based on current services backlog and backlog in months. So that's one of 4 metrics. If we have a formal services team set up configuration, training, onboarding of our customers, we need to track services backlog. Check out yesterday's episode for my 4 metrics. And then tomorrow I'll cover services backlog in months.